Get over here!
If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who are good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do that. And if you lend to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners, expecting to be repaid in full. But love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, because He is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Nice! Another Prea Dieu. Alright, so that pretty much puts us in a new place in the Crown of Thorns. So, we are able to continue our exploration, which I think is also going to be the main focus of today's episode. I'll explain kind of like what I'm planning with my objectives in a moment. But, in the meantime, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 14 of Let's Play Blasphemous 2. In the last episode, we, did a little more searching around. We basically, are trying to collect, whatever we can at this point. Just to try and, get as much as we can before we continue on to the main objective. And there's a couple of things that I aim to do. Ugh, you're something. Ow. There's a couple of things that, like, I am looking forward to in regards to, this adventure. In particular, it is, like, I got some advice, from a few, fans and patrons in saying that, I'm on the right track here. Basically, from what I'm to understand, ooh, that was close. From what I'm to understand, I'm on the right track in regards to, like, getting everything that I need to do done. I don't know the exact... Oh, geez. Hang on. Okay, that's it. I gotta remember some of these controls here, because it has been a little while. It has been a little while since since I last, picked up this game. But, I am doing my best here. But anyway, yeah, the point is that, like, we're doing pretty good so far. And I'm happy to know that, like, for all intents and purposes... I am on the right track in regards to how to handle everything, in this game. Because this is a hard game. There's a lot of cryptic, situations going on here. But I am doing my best, and I hope all of you all are enjoying it. Other than that, though, things have been pretty chaotic, needless to say. Not gonna get too much into that, but y'all know how it can be sometimes. I wonder... Okay, no. I cannot do that easily, unfortunately. Although... Okay! Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see. Huh? Oh, I see. Neat. Okay, that's pretty nifty, not gonna lie. Okay, so basically I just have to... Cool! That's pretty awesome. Temple of the Three Winds. What do we have here? It's a chant. Launches various whirlwinds that damage enemies. A joyful song sung by the field workers to shield their crops from the harsh winds brought on by the flames of summer. Let's try it. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So, first of all, I'm just gonna say right now, forgive me if I sound a little bit, under the weather. It has been very cold. Things have been rather crazy over here in the, northeast part of, the United States because, well, this morning, I'm just getting out of, like, doing a bunch of, like, shoveling and, salting of the, what is this? Huh. Figure that out later. I just got back from, like, doing a bunch of salting and, like, shoveling of the snow and ice outside. It is pure ice out there, guys. Like, Not even, like, a layer of snow. Just nothing but ice out there right now. So, it's a little interesting, right now. So, I hope you will forgive me if I sound a little bit different today. But, as for today's episode, I think this actually brought me back to where, okay, the family. We're unlocking a lot of things here. Okay, so the family is a, okay, is a statue here. Here we go. Recovers a portion of recently lost life after attacking an enemy. Oh, okay. In a forgotten corner of the cemetery, the mother and her daughters perform the mysterious ritual. Each month, without fail, they place a wreath on a strange, unmarked grave. No one knew who lay there, but the three seemed to share a deep bond with the deceased. They prayed together, their voices whispering secrets to the night wind. By dawn, the flowers had withered, as if absorbing the sadness that enveloped the family. The locals would gossip about the power of their mourning, while the women simply continued their solemn vigil. Vaya con Dios. So, what did I want to talk about today? Well, today's a bit of an interesting one because, I will say, I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to necessarily skirt around the subject, but things are a bit insane, in the country of America right now. I'm not going to pretend that that is not the case, or that is not the thing that is a rather privy topic right now. It absolutely is, and there's no changing that. That being said, it is one of those things that, like, I feel is a good thing to bring up in regards to, yeah, I don't think that I can get down there yet. I feel it is a good thing to bring up in regards to, just how things are, not just, like, with, in relation to our government, but also in relation to how we treat others based on that. And that's why I brought up the, verse in Luke regarding, being kind, being merciful, even to those that you do not like. Because, yeah, if you love someone and they love you back, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. That is wonderful. It's not exactly something that, that is necessarily something that you should garner praise for, because that is like, the thing is, like, loving someone who loves you back, that is an expectation. It is not something that is necessarily be like, oh, you should flaunt this because, like, oh, look at me, I'm like, I can be a loving person because I love this person, and it's like, well, if they love you back, then, you know, that's kind of to be expected. Like, no one's surprised that that is the case. So, it's that kind of sentiment, you know? And I know I've discussed the idea of, loving thine enemy, in the past, and that certainly applies here, like, no question about that. Be that as it may, I'd like to tell you guys a little story, because I actually got today's, like, sort of, like, sermon slash, like, lesson from Josh Scorcher. So, those of you who do not know this, I actually would like to consider Josh and I, oh, what is that? I do not like that. Whoa. I don't know what that eye is for, and I don't like it. We'll hopefully not have to find out. Get out of here. Anyway. So, for those of you who don't know, I actually, I consider myself a pretty good friend of Josh Scorcher at this point. He and I play Dungeons & Dragons on a regular basis. He runs the Curse of Strahd campaign, which I'm having so much fun with. Oof, that hurts. There we go. And every now and again, Josh and I will get into conversations about topics that we are very interested in. Believe it or not, Josh and I have actually had some very interesting conversations regarding theology and religion and politics, because, like, I will say, when it comes to religion and faith and theology as a whole, he and I are actually kind of on the same wavelength. We're both Christians. We are both believers in God, or believers of God and everything. That being said, how we go about our faith and our beliefs is actually very different. Josh and I, have a mutual respect for each other in that despite the fact that we go about things very differently, that does not make either of us, like, that does not necessarily make either of us better than the other. And he has expressed that to me, I've expressed that to him, and I'm just gonna say right now, ow. That didn't work, I gotta figure this out. But anyway, with that said, I just want to say right now that I respect the hell out of Josh. I think he is an amazing individual. He's a very respectable person, very intelligent, I might add. The dude is a very, very respectable individual. And yeah, he and I have had conversations about, like, religion, faith, and all that, and, Josh actually wanted me to bring up something in today's, Blasphemous episode, and that's the idea of understanding unconditional love. So what do I mean by that? So a lot of people think unconditional love, equates to, you know, loving someone no matter what, right? And there is a truth to that, but I'll get to a bit of the nuance behind that in a moment. What do we got here? Gante Hondo of the Polluted Heart invokes an aura of miasma around the penitent one that damages everything it touches. Distant, bitter songs spreading deception, sadness, and despair as it flits through the branches of the trees. Let's try this out. Ooh, okay, cool. I love the fact that it's in the shape of the actual shape of a heart. I'm going to stick with the Whirlwind, the Temple of the Three Winds. What do I have in regards to, I have a Galera of the Living Briar. I like this one, honestly. As of right now, I think my favorites of these quick verses are the Galera, the Bleeding Miracle, and the Serrana of the Kindled Hearth. I'm going to stick with the Galera for now, and see where that takes me. So that's that treasure. So, as I was saying, right? Josh wanted me to bring up the idea of, unconditional love and understanding the nuance behind, what for all intents and purposes is... Ooh, okay, that's pretty cool. Understanding the difference between, like, loving someone no matter what, and the common confusion of, if you love me, you would agree with me. That is not the case. Just because you love someone does not mean that you should automatically agree with everything that they say or everything that they stand for. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Ooh, okay, I see. He lays a curse on you. Cool, good to know. I got a shockwave too, pal. Oh, okay. So it does not work on slopes. Good to know. Okay, I'm slipping. I'm trying to use a spell when I don't have the mana for it. There we go. Got it. So, as I was saying, right? There is something to be said. Ooh, I think I remember this. Yeah, another lump of gold, which we need to, I did not mean to do that. That's a quest item, right? Yeah. We have 4 of them. I don't exactly remember what those are for. I gotta recall that. So, that is something that we can figure out later on. As of right now, I'm not sure if I can go anywhere down here. Let's go back and, like, keep exploring and see what we can find. So, a lot of people have this common misconception of, if you love me, you would agree with me. And I will only love those and surround myself with those who agree with me, even though they are wrong. That is not unconditional love, because, like, if you are, like, placing some sort of, like... Okay, well... Good to know, I can't go there. If you are putting that sort of, like, ultimatum on someone in regards to, like, you know, what you're, like, if if you love me, like, you would agree with me type of thing, or, like, you would support me in this. That's not exactly true. And the reason for that is, after I check out what else I can get through here, I'm still, like, not entirely sure where exactly I can go here, because, like, there's a lot of, I know I can't exactly go down there. I'm not entirely sure if I can go down here. I don't think so. I think I remember there was something down here that I couldn't get past. So I may have to go elsewhere. I think what I want to do... Okay, well, first of all, there is something else that I need to take care of. Before I forget. I could possibly check over here and see if there's anything over here. And then maybe come around. I still have a lot of things I need to explore. I'm just going to, like, try and explore at my leisure here and do my best to keep up. In the meantime. So, as stated in Luke, what credit is it to you for loving someone who loves you back? And in the same way, what good is it if you are surrounding yourself with people who agree with you back? Like, oh, like, I like this person because they agree with me, because they adhere to what I think. That is a dangerous mindset to have, because if you ignore the pleas of those who essentially, for all intents and purposes, do not see the fault in what you could possibly be, like, adhering to, that is a very dangerous thing. Oh boy, that's a lot of enemies. Oh boy, that's a lot of enemies. Hang on. Okay, there we go. I probably should have done the execution. Oh well. Because here's the thing. As I was saying, right? You can love someone. You can also think that maybe they're not exactly doing what they should be doing. Cause, like, going back to, going back to Josh and I, right? Josh and I, do agree on a lot of things, certainly. There are some things that he and I don't exactly agree on. He and I have different philosophies on certain things, both political and religious. Does that mean that he and I should not like each other? Not by any stretch. In fact, the reason I use Josh and I as an example is because I respect the man for giving me the opportunity to question my own view of things. And he has also expressed that he has expressed the fact that he respects the way that I go about things as well. Does that make either of us wrong? In regards to certain topics of, like, you know, ooh, I am in danger here. Hang on. Ah, I was trying. Oh well. Where did I last save? Ah, gosh darn it. All the way back here in the Choir of Thorns. That's okay. It gives me a chance to collect my thoughts here. But yeah, Josh and I don't exactly agree on everything. But again, that's okay, because we, like, managed to at least give our own perspective on how things, like, should be, or how we think things should be, or in another sense, how things work for us as individuals. Because while we may not agree on everything in regards to, like, how we go about our own fates, our own lives, or our own, like, political views and everything, that doesn't necessarily make it wrong for, like, either of us. Particularly because the way Josh and I go about how we do things in regards to those topics is doing everything that we can to not disrespect the other. And I actually completely missed that, so you know what? It's actually a good thing that I came back here. It works out. El plan de Dios. Raven amulet slightly increases resistance to projectiles. Ancient relic favored by superstitious elderly women as a talisman to repress guilt and conceal secrets, as though anything could remain hidden from the miracle. Good to know. I'm actually surprised I missed that. Is there anything else I missed up here? I don't think so. Oh, you know what? I think this was where, like, that whole thing was, like, before I got the ability that lets me walk on those glass platforms. Let me... Yeah, I think I want to go here. What I'm going to do is when I go here, I'm going to go to the Prie-Dieu first. And then I'm going to make my way, because I don't want to die again. Here we go. Now, as I was saying, the whole idea with unconditional love is that, for all intents and purposes, for those who believe in God, right? God expresses unconditional love. And that is the fact that he loves his creation, he loves everyone and everything on it. But that does not mean that he's not going to call people out or condemn them for basically being an asshole for all intents and purposes, you know? Or doing wrong. And I'm not saying, like, doing wrong in that, like, oh, like, you know, not believing in him or anything, and, like, because, again, that is going to sorely depend on how you go about, like, your view of faith. Like, if you don't necessarily believe in God, like, okay, that's kind of a foregone conclusion, right? I can understand that. At the same time, am I going the right way here? I know what I gotta do is, like, somewhere here. It might actually be down there. So, for those who might be curious, I'm trying to find that statue again because I was told that I have to go back and, like, put the cloth back on the statue. So I'm aiming to do that. And forgive me if I, like, seem scatterbrained and, like, just, like, not being able to, like, put these thoughts together in the most cohesive manner because I am both trying to concentrate on playing this game. This is, like, anyone who tells you that Let's Playing is easy, it's not. Because, like, Let's Playing is not just about, you know, playing through a game just so people can watch it and everything. No, Let's Playing involves a lot of concentration and, like, a certain level of charisma and improv. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if you are a master of improv, you will find it actually quite gratifying to go about Let's Playing because there is a certain talent to it. There we go. It's why I think John ComicFoil is a really good Let's Player because the dude's a master of improv. Like, do not get me started on how good he actually is at that. But anyway, so, like, what I was getting at with the whole unconditional love thing, right? Look at it. I'm gonna use myself as an example here because I already used the example with Josh, but here's another example. I love my mother. I absolutely adore her. She is an amazing person. I am very, very grateful for everything she has done for me. God knows there are some things that she and I do not agree on by any stretch of the imagination. There is a lot of things, like, politically and religiously, that she and I do not agree on. And that's fine. Like, you know, that sometimes that's just how it is. And something tells me I went the wrong way. I think I gotta go up there. I'm starting to remember where this is, so. Oh, will you stop? Get out of here. There we go. I gotta remember that the executions also allow me to do that. To recover some, like, resources. So that's something to remember. Okay, so if I go this way, I think this is where I need to go. Well, that's the face of the lady. Did I waste my time trying to find this statue? Or is this the statue? Okay, I am clearly missing something. Or do I need to go around? Let's go ahead and see if I need to go around the other side or something. And that's, so that's one of the things that, like, I really wish more people understood, is that, like, I'm just gonna say right now, going back to the whole, like, status of the country and the government type of thing, we're in a point where things are very tribal, things are very, yup, this is the one. Okay, here we go. Let me do this real quick.
Penitente, ahora que mi rostro ha sido devuelto, puedo hablaros. Mis devotos volverán a esta capilla gracias a vuestros actos y al sacrificio de la beata, que siempre será recordada. Oh, Regula, no busquéis más mi perdón, pues ya lo tenéis. Ahora ya estáis a mi lado y podéis descansar vuestra sufrida espalda en mis brazos. En cuanto a vos, penitente, aceptad esto como recuerdo de Regula. Agradecida quedaré siempre. Que mi bendición quede con vos.
Remembrance of Regula. Symbol of the repentant sinner who carried the heaviest of burdens on her shoulders. One night, the young Regula, and we will never know if she did this out of curiosity or boredom, crept into the workshop of the famous sculptress of her village. She wanted to be the first to behold her newest piece, the one so eagerly waited for by everyone, the effigy of the saint. She froze just as she entered, struck with awe in the presence of such beautiful work, which paint had still to dry. Regula then felt a perverse urge to take a cloth, press down against the face of the saint, stealing all color from the sculpture visage. She then covered her own face with the fabric, pretending that the saint's beauty was now hers. The young woman played with the painted cloth, mimicking the pious gesture of the saint, dreaming of the villagers' devotion. After which, it was time to leave, lest the sculptress discovered her mischief. But upon removing the cloth, she discovered, horrified, that the reflection on one of the windows showed no features of her face. In its place remained a shapeless stump of ashen flesh, dry and cracked like charred wood. Regula's scream pierced the night as she understood the punishment for her sin. Damn.
El sacrificio de Regula ha sanado la fe de mis devotos. Podéis marcharos con mi bendición.
What I find interesting is that that's a quest item. So, we're going to need it for something later down the line. What that something is, we'll just have to wait and see. I see a treasure over there. Let's go ahead and explore. Like, we're here. We might as well, like, keep looking around here, right? Oh, actually, now I think of... Yup! Okay, I actually missed that, too. Forgotten Tribute. Another quest item. Oh, it's one of those coins. A coin that was used for many years as payment of the processions that traverse the roads at night. I think I remember this one. Did I do this one, actually, now I think about it? These processions gradually died out, so finding a coin like this is a rare occurrence. I'm gonna read it again, just to cover my bases here. The thick night mist snaked and curled around the lattice of trunks and branches that made out the forest. From that very fog, that stick to my skin like a clammy shroud, did emerge the shadows. They marched in procession with mournful parsimony, each one a bearer of their own lament and grim expression, confused, wafting forward in death. Seized by this sinister sight, I could not help but witness, frozen in place, as they slowly made their way towards me. Only then did the procession stop. The shadow guiding the group, the tallest and most tenebrous of them all, bowed down in silence, showing me the palm of his bare hand. He was waiting for something. Petrified, I could but mutter a few vain words whilst my whole being shivered. It was at that moment that the piercing light of a sudden dawn broke through the entangled canopy of that forest, tearing apart both fog and spectre, making them all vanish before me. The sweet song of birds conjured away the deadly silence that had reigned before. I will never know what tribute that ghosts of mist would have asketh for, nor will I ever encounter them again. Yeah, I actually don't think I... Oh, no, yeah, it's right there. If I had just looked up, I would have known. But either way, it was nice to read that again. Again, a good reminder as to, like, everything that I'm, like, trying to get through in this game. It is good, though, that I am managing to, backtrack through a lot of these areas and manage to find, some of these things that I have, like, missed before. So, this is good. This is very good. By the way, now that I think about it, we were on the subject of, like, unconditional love, and, the last verse in Luke chapter 6 was talking about, be merciful just as your father was merciful. Regula and the Saint, good example of that. Regula, for all intents and purposes, wronged, the Saint and the artist who depicted her visage, but the Saint was merciful. She, understood that, Regula recognized her mistake, recognized her her repentance, recognized her sacrifice, and as such, she was forgiven. And that's the main thing, you know? It's like, just because, like, you love someone does not necessarily mean that you would agree with everything that they've done. I guess the main point that I was trying to get at with what I was, like, trying to say earlier, right, is that if you love someone, do not accept them for what they do, but be willing to accept them for who they are. You know? If someone is a firm believer in, you know, say, I'm just gonna use, like, a couple of, like, basic examples here. If you're someone who thinks that, like, you know, guns are an abomination and you think they should be taken out the streets, versus someone who may have a more responsible, view on guns. Someone who, like, hey, yeah, no, citizens should have the right to bear arms, but they should be responsible with it. That's something. Like one person, like someone who thinks that guns should be taken off the streets completely versus someone who thinks that, oh, they just need to be, like, taken responsibly. There is merit to both people discussing and compromising the possibilities of that, of those sentiments. I would not, however, at the same time, though, do not necessarily adhere to someone who thinks that everyone should just have them no matter what with no training, and then they just, like, you know, go around and shooting everything they see. That's probably not a good thing to agree on, you know? A bit of a silly and extreme example, yes, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. Another wax seed. Good. We need more of those. And again, in the similar vein, I am someone who is... I'm a straight white guy, kind of, sort of white guy. I am a Latino, you know, for all intents and purposes, and, I'm going to say this, like, I've expressed this before. I used to have, like, not so positive, views on, like, you know, the LGBT community, but I learned my lesson, and it's like, you know, who am I to begrudge people who just want to, and let me make this clear, be themselves. It's not about what they're doing, it's just, you know, who they are and who they want to be. And the most important thing about it is that, like, you know, I've expressed this before, they're not hurting anyone. Like, who exactly are they hurting by, like, you know, being, like, someone who just happens to love the same sex, or, like, you know, somewhere in between? I'm not gonna begrudge them for that, because it has nothing to do with me. It's not necessarily hurting anyone. Who am I to... Oh. Cool. I did not expect it to go up like that. Oh, I remember how good this music is. But anyway, yeah, that's my point. And, like, it goes into, the, further aspect of that is, like, you know... Oh, wow, that was an accident. I am finding stuff here, man. If you love someone, it is okay to agree with them, so long as that agreement lines within your own sense of, like, morality, or, like, you know, it's not hurting anyone or anything like that. Again, that's like the main thing. However, in a similar vein, if you truly love someone, you gotta be willing to sit them down and be like, hey, dude, you're being an asshole. maybe you should stop doing that. Not only for, like, the sake of others, but maybe for your own sake. You know? But also, like, understand that, like, different people are going to have different interpretations of that. Like, at the end of the day, use your own judgment. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and, like, pretend that, like, some people may have very skewed versions or very skewed ideologies on what's right and what's wrong, you know? That's just, like, an eternal struggle of, like, trying to get people to understand, like, the differences. And that's, like, one of the main things that, like, I feel more people need to understand is that the whole nuance of, like, you know, understanding what's right and what's wrong and what you should agree with and what you shouldn't agree with, it's way more complicated than we would like it to be, and maybe sometimes more complicated than it should be. It is an unfortunate reality there. Is there a bell here that I can ring in order to open that? I'm going to check. But that's ultimately what it is. At the end of the day, like, again, this, like, it always goes back to, at the end of the day, for all intents and purposes, someone in the comments, like, of, like, a previous video, said that I use that phrase a lot. And I do. I really do. Oh, I see. Ah, okay, so it's not a bell. I just needed to hit a switch. That works out. Perfect. For, like, at the end of the day, for all intents and purposes, don't be a dick. Just, you know, that's really the end-all, be-all of the argument. Just don't be a dick. And, you know, you can love someone and not like them. You know? I know, like, several people have, like, family members that may actually, like, fall into that category. I have plenty of like, I'm gonna say right now, my family's huge. I have family members that I absolutely adore. I love them. I would love to get along with them. But there are also some family members, those same ones that I love, that maybe I just don't get along with too much, you know? So, another great example of that, those of you in my audience who watch Mythbusters. So, I was a Mythbusters kid growing up. I loved that show. I loved learning about it. I loved watching, like, the constant experiments that, like, Adam and Jamie would get into. Like, that show was fantastic, and I learned a lot, right? What really made me pause, and what really, like, impressed me, was the level of respect, professionalism, and genuine love that Adam and Jamie had for each other. However, it was made very clear from the get-go, or not so much from the get-go. It was made clear later on that Jamie and Adam didn't really get along, like, on a personal level at all. They were, like, if you guys get a chance to, I highly recommend watching Adam Savage's YouTube. He, like, does, like, a lot of, like, streams or, like, podcasts where, like, he does, like, he, like, answers questions from, like, fans of, like, you know, people who watch Tested or used to watch Mythbusters. And, like, you know, one of the things that he has made clear on multiple occasions is that him and Jamie did not get along. They were not friends. They did not hang out, like, after work or anything. Those two were, for all intents and purposes, and I say that again, professionals. Like, bottom line, they had a job to do, and despite the fact that maybe they didn't get along on the best of terms, they knew that they had a job to do, and it was a job that both of them genuinely enjoyed. And the fact that those two were very different personality-wise and in how they went about, like, tackling problems is the reason that those two worked together so well. Like, you know, Adam was, like, you know, always, like, the guy who, from what I've seen in his streams, right, he was the guy who is a very kinesthetic learner. The dude does not the dude solves problems by getting his hands dirty. He goes in, he does the work, he builds, like, 4 different contraptions. Like, he's the type of person who's like, oh, like, I am the type of person who, like, wants to fail the first couple of times. Like, this is going to be, like, the prototype. Okay, this is my first attempt. Okay, this doesn't work. What, like, works after that? Okay, this works, but not this. Let's reestablish that this time. The guy is willing to fail several times until he comes to the conclusion of, like, getting things right. Jamie, on the other hand, Jamie was a type of person to plan things out. He was like, okay, this works, or okay, like, I gotta do my calculations, like, I gotta understand, like, how this would work, how this would work, how this would work. Oh, okay, I see. This is how this might work. The dude draws diagrams. The dude draws plans. He puts things to paper and tries to get it as best as he can before actually committing to the work. And you can imagine that maybe 2 engineers who think like that might not, like, necessarily get along in the best of at the best of times, because, like, they have completely different approaches to how they want to solve the exact same problem. But it's because of that the 2 actually get along extremely well from a professional standpoint, because, as Jamie would put it, they want to get the job done at the end of the day, and one way or another, however they go about it, at the end of the day, they will get that job done. And they do it because they manage to work together and challenge each other's perspectives until eventually they come to a conclusion that they both can agree on, despite the fact that they don't get along. And that's something that I think should be a shining example of how things should work, for the most part, is that idea of, oh yeah, just because I don't get along with this person, that does not mean that we cannot come to some sort of agreement or challenge each other's perspectives, debate, you know, like, grind down the differences or challenge each other's perspectives until we eventually come to some sort of compromise. And that is something that those 2 did extremely well. And again, I feel like that is something that more people should... That is a mindset that I genuinely feel more people should adopt. Because, you know, can you imagine the amount of stuff, or, like, the kind of things that, like, our government would be able to do if they just did exactly that? If they actually managed to be like, oh yeah, let's work together. Like, you and I don't like each other. That does not matter. Let's get along here and do the best that we can in order to get this job done. If more people did that, and, like, that was the mindset going forward, way more things would get done. I have a ton of respect for Adam and Jamie, not just for the fact that they were basically the hosts of one of my favorite shows growing up, but being a shining example of just because you don't agree with someone, or just because you don't get along with someone, doesn't mean you can't come to an agreement somehow. It takes work. It absolutely takes work. It takes work, it takes compromise. You're gonna argue sometimes. You're going to butt heads. You're going to drive each other, as Adam would put it, absolutely batty. But that's just part of the process. And if you truly love someone, that's the thing. Like, do not confuse love for just agreeing with someone unconditionally. If they give you that ultimatum of, like, oh, if you truly love me, then you would agree with me on this, that's not unconditional love. That is putting a price on it. And that's, for all intents and purposes, I say that again, is rather scummy. If you truly love someone, and you see them doing something, or, like, you see that maybe what's happening is not something that you can necessarily, like, that you don't feel is, like, right, or maybe is unhealthy, or, at the very least, is something that maybe may not work the best in your opinion. You gotta be willing to butt heads with them. You gotta be willing to be like, hey, what's going on here may not be the best thing. But, at the same time, be willing to listen and question your own view on things. And that, I feel, is one of the more important aspects. Is if you're going to love someone, and if you do love someone, you should be willing to butt heads with them and challenge them if your view, if you view or you feel that they are not doing something right, or they're doing something wrong, or something dangerous, or something unhealthy. At the same time, be willing to listen to what they have to say about you. And let them challenge your view in maybe you might be doing something wrong. It's way more complicated than we would like it to be. It absolutely is. Like, morality is complicated. That is the truth. But you have to be willing to put in the mental work to come to an understanding, not just with others whom you love, but also come to an understanding within yourself. Be merciful, be kind, and be willing to challenge others while also be willing to be challenged yourself. I think at the end of the day, that is the lesson that I want you all to take from today's episode. What do we got here? Well, here we go. I had a feeling we were gonna do this. What I am happy about is the fact that we managed to bring this sword up and these weapons up to a point where we can deal with these guys in a single combo. Yes! Oh, jeez. Oh, no, I'm out of flasks. Frick, I didn't realize I was out of those. How far back do I go? Oof. Yeah. Oh, man, there was a prayer due right there. Darn it. I'm gonna be right back, guys. Alright, once more, this time with feeling. Alright. Let's grab that. Oh, man. Dude, Rega is, like... I don't care what anyone says. Like, I know, like, a lot of people, like, I've talked to say that, like, Veredicto is, like, probably the best weapon in this game. I'm sorry. For me, it's Rega. Like, this weapon is great. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Spawn right in front of me, why don't ya? Man, when you have the double jump, like, that becomes so much easier. Ornate Chalice. Ooh, I think this is, for the lady? The blood girl? That girl. Cup embellished with small stones, used in rituals as at its bottom dark bloodstains can be discerned. Yeah, I think we've had this before. Let's go ahead and read it again. The church shut its doors to us forever. The floor of its nave collapsed, revealing a deep, dark abyss. A remnant of a bygone era that had been concealed for centuries. Only those brave enough to dare peer into its blackness as they speak of the walls carved with figures, not fingers, looking upwards in unison as if yearning for a scarce light. They also say that sometimes those who stayed for a while could hear a distant wail, a cry so desperate it wounded the soul, and no one knew from where or from what horror it came, a sound that could never be forgotten. When that happens, they throw white flowers into the abyss, an act that apparently calms down the suffering of that mysterious being. No one knows whether the flowers are thrown as a gesture of compassion or fear. No one knows what lies there in the depths of that abyss. Only that we must stay away from that place. Did not mean to eat that, but this will work because now that we did that, we should be able to come here, save up. I built up a little bit of guilt during all that, though. That's which is a bit of a problem. That said, I think what we can do now to sort of like start wrapping up this episode, I'm noticing a couple of exclamation points over here and down here that we may need to address. So, here's what I'm going to do, guys. For the last leg of this episode, and this is going to be a sort of like call to you guys as well. We're going to end the episode today with heading back to the central village and getting some of this business situated. Which means I gotta go to this teleporter over here. God, I love that counter. I should try to use, I should try to use the other weapons a little more, honestly, but Rega just works for me. And I remember this place. This is where we fought that, one pirate dude. Might as well save up in case anything happens, but yeah. We should be able to wrap this up pretty handily. Let's start over here. We got the last thing we need for the rosary beads, I think. So if we go to the rosary lady, we should be able to wrap that up, because I think there's only one left.
¿Poseéis nudos de rosario, penitente? Ahora, dejad que mis manos anuden un nuevo misterio en vuestro rosario. Vuestro rosario está ahora completo, penitente. Cuando pena llevéis y el cielo no tenga luceros, apretad fuerte vuestro rosario en el pecho. Así os dará consuelo.
Okay. So I'm curious, if we leave and come back... No, she's still there. Alright, so yeah, we unlocked all the rosaries. We might as well go ahead and see what we can apply here. So we have Obelisk of Proximo, Tears of Atonement gained, Votive Offering claimed by Rust, increases elemental resistance, increases resistance to all physical damage, assault covered spear point, significantly increases martyrdom points earned, the embossed rat skull. What should be our last thing? This significantly increases resistance to all mystical, to miasma, to fire, to like more. Oh, significantly increases elemental resistance. Oh. Oh, no, wait, no. That's one of the things I have equipped already. Obelisk of Proximo. To elemental, to miasma, to fire, lightning, martyrdom points. Which, the embossed rat skull. Broken bell. Hopeful mother. Let sphere. Rat skull, golden mask. I think what I'm going to do is, I'll go ahead with the Senior Embroiderer's Thimble and go from there. But, if anyone has any recommendations on what would be a good build here, or, like, just anything in general, but I have a feeling that, like, these are kind of, like, meant to be, like, interchanged every now and again. So, take that for what you will. I feel like I should probably, like, get rid of my guilt before I come here, but... I'm here. I'm gonna go, like, we ballin'. But first, I'm going to visit you, because I think I have something for you.
Sentid como vuestro fervor exuda por cada fisura de vuestro metal y regocijaos. Penitente mío, os continuaré asistiendo si me entregáis vuestros besos.
I think that's the only one we had, right? Yeah. Alright, lady. Thanks a lot. Or should I say, thanks a lot? Gosh, such vanity. Alright, so, the girls, that we, oh, what? What is this?
Figura anónima que allá arriba, tras las férreas rejas, recortáis una sombría silueta contra la tenue luz de mi esperanza. Debéis venir a mi encuentro. Tomad la frágil llave que una de las figuras del barro os ofrece y buscad una entrada a este funesto foso.
The mud key. Is that what those doors are for? Is this a part of the DLC? Because I don't remember this. A small key gifted from one of the clay figures. Its brittle appearance suggests that it will not last more than a single use. Hilaria sank her hands into the wet mud that had already claimed her body up to her hips, staining her white dress with its earthy caresses. As she removed them, her muddy palms began to gently spread the mud over the grave wounds of the dying man who lay before her, whose moans intertwined with the tremors of pain and the moans of terror. Suddenly, the injured man's eyelids lifted, revealing eyes filled with both tears and moving serenity. Those who witnessed the scene could not contain their own tears. So moved were they by the sight before their eyes. The wounds that had once threatened his life had now disappeared, leaving behind only the remnants of an inexplicable blessing. Interesting. Should I wait to do this? I'm gonna wait to do this, and I'm realizing that... Huh. Yeah, I just realized this is new down here. I am going to explore this later. Yeah, I don't remember that. Let's put a pin on that for now, because what I wanted to do originally was this. Right here. So, we got some combat coming up, and I think I'm going to go ahead and actually... No, we still got time, Let's see how well we can do this.
Que den dos clamores las campanas, pues el velatorio empieza. Y nos hundiremos en un mar de luto.
Alright, let's do this. Oh, he missed me. I'm fine with that. I keep hitting the wrong button. That's the button I wanted. Nice. Okay, something tells me fire damage is not going to work too well against these guys. Yeah. Okay, should be good, should be good, should be good. Beautiful. I'll take a mark of martyrdom out of that, sure. Done. I love this weapon so much. Beautiful. Keep it up. Ow. Not cool. Alright, 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 alright. Not bad. That's it. Alright, another ornate chalice. I should be able to do this again. Let's see. Can I do this again? I think so. I just needed one more.
Que den dos clamores las campanas, pues el velatorio empieza.
Yep. Okay. This is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna do today, guys. We'll go ahead back to the...
En un mar de luto.
Yeah, what she said. We're gonna go back to the village at the start of the next episode, so we'll go from there. And again, guys, let me know if, like, if you have any advice for me. I know I have, like, a little bit of advice. Oh, geez, you're new. Get out of here. I probably should have saved, but, what are you gonna do? I'll just have to make do. Alright. There we go. Oh, yeah, you. Ugh. I still got 2 flasks. I'm doing okay here. Oh, you! This is a lot. That sucks. Wrong button! Crap! Damn it. Yeah, that phase in particular is a bit of an issue. Although, I might have a way to go about this. What? Do I actually need to, like... do I need to, like, dodge that? Jeez. Oh, this just is not fair, man! What in the world? Whew. Man, I was hoping there would be, like, that would be it after the guy, but nope. Okay, slowly but surely I am learning. Again, this is also me coming back to this game after a while, so goodness. I got this, though. I got this. But seriously, this last bit is taking way longer than I would have liked. Okay, there we go. Okay. Right, I can knock those away. That is very inconvenient. Oof. Okay, I took the thing just in time. Okay, only provoke one of them. Only provoke one of them. Good. Good, 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 good. Good. Okay, okay, is that it? Please, no, it's not it. Okay, God. Really? These guys? Okay. I forgot that I had the ability to light that, like, in the air. Okay. Man, these guys are relentless. Hijue. Let's do this. Okay, is that it? Please tell me that's it. Oh, we got it. That was way harder than it needed to be. Goodness. I mean, no.
Ahora que ya tenéis lo que queríais, marchaos. Con los que se creen bienaventurados, marchaos. Con los que buscan el perdón mirando fuera antes que dentro, marchaos. Con los falsos afligidos y los débiles de fe, marchaos.
Y con su bendición, gracias, señora. Y que tú vaya con Dios. Marchao. Whew, okay, we got it. So, the last bit of business today, what did we get? We got a figure. Where might you be? I think it was a figure we got. Leveche. Increases critical chance. Okay. The heart above, third verse. The child made a wish. He willed the clouds in the sky to assume the appearance that had been insinuated into his eyes to become a symbol, a sign, an icon of the suffering that ravaged this ancient land, so everyone could bear witness to the same sorrow he experienced, so everyone could know they were not alone. And I know that I am not alone as I continue my adventure through this ravaged land. So, thank you everyone for joining me for episode 14 of Let's Play Blasphemous 2. In the next episode, we're going to reconvene at the central village and continue on to explore more of what we can find before moving on to our next objective. Which, by the way, someone in my Patreon Discord actually mentioned, and thank you for this, I should head to the next objective, but before going to the finale, we should tackle the DLC. Thankfully, the DLC has its own sort of, like, storyline, so we can follow that separately, but that's something I'm going to tackle after we deal with everything else that we can in the base game, before the final boss at the very least. So, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you all. Be wise, be merciful, listen to others, challenge them, but be willing to challenge your own view. Have a good day, everybody.